Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Friday, the 8th of March, comes to you from London. And we will look at the energy mix in the second half of this session. But first of all, let's just look at what's going on in the major markets. Interesting, we saw these two new targets on the euro after that ECB decision, pointing to a 111.29 and 111.96. So let's say 112 area. So that's quite interesting for the euro. Rates remaining unchanged has just been a bit of a surprise to the upside. And of course, the markets are waiting really for the non-farm payrolls today, what that's going to mean. They were over 300,000 last time, so it'll be really quite interesting. And we're seeing US 10-year yields heading lower. We've got downside targets to just below 4%, so really is taking us back to near the bottom, although we do still have these medium-term upside targets. So a very mixed picture there, short-term bearish, medium-term, not through above the clouds, so probably more neutral medium-term. But the reality is we do have these short-term targets in train. The market is expecting interest rates to stay higher for longer, but we are just seeing that pullback. But again, Powell did say this week when he testified that there would be a cut this year, so people know it's coming. It's just a case of when. Sterling actually has been pushing higher as well, just waiting for this upside target to activate. But really interesting there that we are seeing targets on sterling to the 142 level if we can just break and activate this thrust target, and that would ultimately deactivate this downside target. So it is a bit of a game of waiting and seeing there. The budget in the UK this week was relatively well received by markets. Bitcoin, just a little bit of a tussle going on after this wobble this week. We're really waiting to see whether we break higher or we break lower. So that's really the picture on Bitcoin. And these orange targets will turn green and red respectively, depending on which way we break to activate them. So, and the activation points for the targets are actually before the high and low. So that's going to give you a heads up. So really quite interesting there. The Nasdaq, of course, continues to look strong. Got three upside targets there on the 60-minute chart. Still got a big upside target on the daily chart. So I did ask the question this week, is it a bull or a bubble? I did a LinkedIn poll and hundreds of people responded to the poll, and it was 50-50 split. And my feeling is that it would be more likely that it was a bubble if everyone was bullish. So the fact that half the market is bearish suggests, and the results are really interesting. Hedge funds and family offices really feel, and private equity feel that market has probably run too far. So it's more likely that it's a correction than it's a bubble. But we have to watch those short-term targets. That's where you'll see the change first, of course. Looking at the Magnificent Seven, really quite interesting here. Nvidia still looks very, very strong. Rising. Semiconductors yesterday were up. The four best performing stocks were semiconductors beyond Nvidia, up several percent. Meta has met its target without another target. Amazon looks strong as well. We are seeing Microsoft potentially activating a downside target, failing to make a higher high. Google, mixed picture, the latest target is down. Apple is actually heading lower to its target, and Tesla looks pretty grim. The target there says it could halve. So if you look at the Magnificent Seven this year, this is over the start of the year. We see here Tesla's performance. Three of the Magnificent Seven are actually down so far this year. We've got another two here, Amazon and Google looking a little bit lower, or Microsoft and Amazon, and Meta's a bit of a star, but Nvidia is just powering ahead. So really quite interesting picture there on the Magnificent Seven. I have been busy working with clients that quite often ask me, what's my view on such and such, and I just record them a short video. If they're a client, I have no problem doing that. Yesterday I was asked to look at coffee. It's great when I'm asked to look at charts, and I don't really look at the charts much myself. And we can see here some pretty key upside targets there on coffee. And I also was asked to look at cotton. That was also very interesting. But that just shows just some of the targets. And it's great to see more and more people using these targets. It's really, really valuable for me to get the feedback. See the downside targets on corn. We haven't quite met these last three targets. They were given a long, long time ago, upside targets there. So really quite key. Anyway, over to the energy mix. And we start by looking at Brent crude. And I have asked the question on European energy markets, gas, power, coal, and carbon, have we seen the bottom? And 75% of people think we haven't, and 25% of people think we have. And so that's really interesting for me, because that says to me most people are still bearish, which means there's more chance of a shift of more and more people becoming bullish. So there's more chance of bulls coming into the market. It's not to say it has hit the bottom, because there's, and I've recorded a longer video which I'll post in the comments on that a couple of days ago, but it's really interesting to see that consensus. Anyway, Brent crude, we're waiting for this upside target to activate to 84. Yes, NatGas, we went out as neutral today, just waiting for the targets there. We've fallen away. We're not making new lows there. This downside target is still in train or in place. Coal, there's been a very interesting one where the downside targets were met. We had a new little bit of upside target, and now we've got a new downside target. So we're seeing this range developing, $90 to $115, and that's the range, and that makes the trading a little bit more challenging. If we look at carbon, we see a similar picture. So here's the daily chart on carbon, and look at this. We're waiting to see which way we go. Two orange targets. If we break above 61, we activate to just over 66. If we break below 58, we activate to 51. That's the range. Will we break out of the range, or will we activate this downside target? And if I want a heads up, I look at the 10-minute chart. Quite interesting there that we've got this same picture, or a real level of uncertainty, a little sort of triangle building there, real level of uncertainty. And if you look at the 1-minute chart, this is where we're going to get the information first. You can see the targets yesterday, kicked in yesterday, downside targets, and then today a little downside target, and we're really have got that uncertainty. So really interesting there. If we take a look at, we'll just take a quick look at the UK contract. Similar picture here, upside targets not activated. So really, again, quite interesting. And the liquidity now is good enough on the UK contract to look at the 10-minute, and we see here this is the latest target that's kicked in, another 4% lower potentially. That's the one that's in train at the moment, so you can't ignore that. And if you're really trading at very short term, the 1-minute charts, look at the targets, can't ignore them. It's great that more and more people are messaging me saying, I'm using the targets, what do you think of this? And it's really good to be able to, I record a short video for them and just send them to them and say, here, or we have a quick call. It's really great, and I'm really enjoying this dialogue with clients. So looking at TTF, this is really, of course, where it really sits. Upside target, downside target, uncertainty. Was that the bottom? Here we've got the 60-minute chart on TTF, waiting for these downside targets to activate. A new upside target has kicked in. So really what's going on, look at the 10-minute chart, waiting for this upside target as well. The 1-minute chart, it will give us just a little bit more information. A couple of targets there, just taking us higher, 26.95, 27.03. So looking like we're going back to the top of the range. Watch for new targets. That's the key to all of this. Interestingly, I look at the other gas products as well. So this is summer, and what you'll notice on summer is the downside target didn't activate on summer. So really interesting that we don't have a downside target on the daily. We do on the 60-minute, and that's different from the front month where the targets didn't activate. So it's really quite interesting just watching these two different products, and you can go right the way through. NBP, of course, a similar picture there. Again, just using the targets. You can see here, and if you're trading NBP, let's just go straight to the 1-minute, waiting for this new little upside target. That will possibly activate while I'm talking, just waiting for that to activate, and then that will turn green, taking us to 68.50. But really, we've got this resistance level going on NBP, so that's quite key as well. Last of all, we'll look at German power. Power markets are looking a little bit better than the gas markets. We see here no new downside target. We can forget this one that was given ages ago now, and we've got a nice big upside target, massive. We need to break above 83.30. Watch for this downside target to be activated. Again, you can go to the 10-minute. This is the EX. If you're trading on OTC, look at your Trayport data. You'll have even more visibility on the targets here. A mixed picture. Markets are really not sure where to end the week. That's it for today. And if you want to use the targets, please just let me know. I'm more than happy to share with you how they use them. As I say, more and more people are using them and finding them really valuable in their trading. It's really easy. Until next Monday, have a great weekend. Happy charting. Bye for now.